I'm here representing myself, my family business, Blade Coat Supply. We've been in business for several years, and I've heard a lot of discussion this evening. Some interesting points. I was under the impression that this whole ordinance here is to help prevent the destruction of our natural resources and possibly prevent Marcella or fracking or whatever term that we would like to use. However, it's not definitive to that. If that is what this is about, then let's say that is what it's about. But, you know, bottom line is that it appears to be more zoning oriented, which is kind of disturbing to me, especially whenever I read the very first line of 6A, industrial operation as used in this ordinance shall mean any manufacturing facility. It doesn't take just a few licks on a computer keyboard for an outside person to find out what ordinances are in an area or not in an area. And we would be limiting our potential county growth for any type of industry. Dirty, clean, green, it doesn't matter. Okay? It could be Microsoft sitting there going, I need a manufacturing facility. Well, let's go here, Thomas County. Ooh, ordinance, delete. We would not even know that we was an option for that, regardless of it is what it might be. Any manufacturing facility. That's just one nasty word in this document. So if this is about drilling or fracking or environmental issues, then that's what our commissions need to inform us on. It needs to be rewritten in that type of terminology in terms that even a child could understand. Okay, and it's not because we're ignorant. It's not because we're simple. It's because we don't need to hear a whole lot of roundabout terms. We just need to know the facts. Okay, it needs to be published for a certain amount of time, whether that's 2 weeks for the public to have their moment to chew on it. It needs to go back up for discussion. And then it needs to go for a vote, not between 3 persons, but between the landowners and taxpayers of Pocahontas County. Not limiting, but it should be primarily the landowners because that is what this would be affecting the most, the landowner. If that is indeed what we're after. If we're after zoning, then you need to say you're after zoning and then see how the public has to respond, which apparently at this point in time, most of the public here is against it. If this is to be voted on tonight, is this to be voted on tonight? That's a yes or no question?
No, sir.
It is not to be voted on tonight.
No.
So this is just strictly a public discussion because once I was told no, then it was a maybe or a possibility. So, you know, definitely rewording is going to be one of your first steps. Publication, second, voting, third. Not amongst the 3 of you. Definitely, I'm thankful that we have the opportunity to have public forum, that we all may speak our piece. So far, I haven't heard anybody that is for it. I don't think that I'm educated enough or have enough factual information on the fracking and the Marcella shell drilling to stand here and debate with anybody. So I have no opinion whether I'm for it or against it, but I am definitely against telling anybody in this room what they may or may not do in the privacy of their own home or in the boundaries of their own property that falls under the legal law. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. I want to, since you brought up the idea of how we go about advertising a proposed ordinance or having a vote on the ballot, you're absolutely correct. There's no item on the agenda to consider this ordinance further at this time. The last, November 1st, at our last meeting, the agenda said something to the effect of discussion, interaction, Marcellus Shale ordinance. So whenever we wish to discuss an ordinance draft, even for the possibility of adoption, it would have to be worded, the word ordinance on that agenda. So you're correct that that is, of course, not our intention tonight.
Very well.
For any ordinance we would pass, and this was the case with the ordinance we would pass, there's a procedure we have to go through, including three public readings. I believe advertising in the paper is an option. Just being technical about what that means. It can work. So it has to be published. So that's specific with the ordinance, just so to clarify what would be.
And I have one other point I'd like to also bring up. I didn't have a good cheat sheet to go by, but I believe that all three of you are voted public officials. Is that correct?
We're elected, yes.
You're voting, you're elected officials. So, the majority of the persons